Hey, hello everyone. This is Victor Momo from Excel Moments. Excel was 35 years sometime last week, and a couple of friends on our Telegram group said, Victor, I think it would be nice to do a video to commemorate this anniversary. So here we are. Just want to do something a little old schoolish, considering that Excel is 35 years, which is quite some time, and just blend it with a little new school. So what I want to do in this video, I want to be able to list all files in a folder or directory. Um, Also list all files in the same folder, maybe that meet specific criteria or of a particular extension, MP3, MP4s, like that, and so on. I know I've previously done it, in another video using command prompt. You can also do Power Query, but here I want to do it with one of the old school Excel for macro functions, the XLM functions, which is called files function. And typically for these functions, you have to use them in the name manager. So let me get into it and show you how that works. Okay. So first thing is for us to go to the name manager. So I'm just going to do Control F3, right? Then I do new. Um, what name do I want to give this function? Let me say list all files. Okay. So refers to, this is where the magic happens, and it's really very simple. Just put the files function. So Excel recognizes it, even though if you try to use it in the worksheet, you wouldn't see it, come out. But it does recognize it from, the Excel for macro functions. So put files. If you just put a bracket, meaning no arguments, then what it does is that it returns the list of files in the current directory. Okay, so whatever directory you last maybe went to file, open, and pointed at, that's the directory that is going to use. But typically, I want to have more control over it by having the directory I want it to return from in a certain cell. Then I point the files function to it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to point the files function to this cell B1, right? And I do OK. Okay, so whatever parts I put in here is what I want Excel to return the files for. So I already have one or two folders I want to use for this demonstration. So I'm just going to go there and pull them up. Let me use this one. This is my folder from Telegram desktop. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in here. Okay, so that's my parts. And this font kind of looks ugly. Okay, so what you need to have is when you put it this way, Excel doesn't recognize it. If you also just put, the end slash at the end, you wouldn't still get a result. You have to put more or less like a filter criteria at the end. So let me show you how that works. So here, list of files. What you just need to do here is just to point to the function, which is what? List all files. Press enter. It doesn't see anything. The moment you come back here and put a wildcard like asterisk, which essentially means, find all files that have any text, then you see it return some results. Okay, so now what you see here arranged are the list of files in that folder. Okay, back before we had the dynamic arrays, you would actually have to use the index function, because what used to happen is this was all packaged inside an array, more or less. You would use the index function and say index of this expression comma 1, which is like give me the first item, or the first element in that array. Okay, then index array comma 2, and so on and so forth. But with the dynamic arrays, once you just type in list all files, it lists all of them, but now it's listing it in a single row. So what I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to put a transpose, right? So I'm going to say transpose so that I can see it go from top to bottom. Okay, so and now I have all the files in this folder. Okay, the asterisk is what makes it list all of them. If I take out the asterisk, as you can see, it doesn't do anything. So what you probably would want to do is to then put in maybe an if error, just to cater for cases where you don't have the right entries. Yeah, and I noticed this glitch yesterday where everything outside the column width still shows up after you delete it. Just some interesting stuff, really. But if you do this, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's just continue. So put an asterisk here. So you have all the files. So what if I wanted to filter by XLSX? So I could just say dot XLS, something like that. Just notice that some things will disappear. This PBIX, this PDF, JPEG, they will no longer show up. Okay, so you can see that all I have now are just anything that starts with what an XLS. I could have done PDF. Okay, I could have done JPEG, right? Okay, so that's how you do it. So once you change the path, then it also adjusts accordingly. So let me pull up another path which I want to use for testing, and then take the video to the next level. So I'm going to come back here, put that part in here, and just put my slash and asterisk. Okay, so this is my new folder, and I've returned all the files in here. So what if I wanted to then rename all the files in this folder? Maybe to have like a prefix, maybe add the year into it. Oh, okay, 2020, underscore this. So what would I do? What I want to bring in here is just a little of VBA. Because I've purposely stayed away from VBA in my videos until I have a VBA series. I'm always careful not to introduce VBA into my solutions. But just to give you a flavor of where you can take this to. You can also create hyperlinks from what you have, so that automatically as the files are listed, you can click and it takes you to, the directory or to the location. But because I've done that in a previous video, I'm going to skip that part. So I'm just going to do the part of rename. So let's assume I want to concatenate, all these names with 2020 underscore. So I could do something like this here, right? 2020 underscore. Simple. And then this, right? So this will be, my new file name. So this is the old name here, and this the new name. Okay. So I just go to my VBA, and I have just a few lines of code which will do the magic. So what I want you to watch is just watch this folder so you can see the names. When I run this procedure, you should then have 2020, as the prefix to all of them. So do play. Let me go back to that folder, Alt Tab. Now you see all of them have 2020 underscore. So I can share, of course, the VBA code and the file so you can practice along. But really, this was just to show you one of the old school ways of listing, all the files in a folder, and also filtering by criteria using asterisks. You could also have used, the question mark wildcards, and you know, just gone to town, do whatever it is you want. This was just to celebrate Excel. Say happy birthday, Excel. We've come a long way from those days. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Excel moments, and like I always say, if you can think it, Excel can do it. I'm out.